Scissors.
There we go. Yeah. What is up, everybody? We'll give a few minutes for this to get live and get everything going. It's been a little while since we've done a stream. On there, you see the map of basically all the places. Not every place we went, like in London and stuff like that, but basically all the places we went in the UK during our trip. So there's a bit of a delay. So about 20-second delay between what you guys are seeing and what's happening live. So if you ask questions and things like that, understand there's about a 20-second delay. We are, our street right now, as we speak, if I look outside, there are holes everywhere because they are laying fiber optic cable for our internet service provider. So the internet's about to get a whole lot faster here.
Finally.
Streams should become much more stable. Gay Miriam says, what a cute couple. Steve, who lives in the UK, says, hi, Chris. Hi, Tara.
Hello, Steve.
So,
Colorado, woohoo!
we're, how was the heat when we were there? It was steady between 60 and 70 our entire 2 weeks there. We had literally like 30 minutes of rain, and it was on our first full day there. My daughter and I were over in Whitechapel on the east side of London waiting for our Jack the Ripper tour to get started, and it poured for like 20 minutes. And then it let up, and it was fine, and we never saw rain again. I think it might have rained overnight a few times, but we woke up in the morning, and there was like rain on the ground, but it never rained during the day the entire time we were there. It was phenomenal. I'm glad we're not there now with the heat that you guys are getting this week. First of all, just as we get started, please keep your questions related to the UK. History questions are okay related to the UK about our trip. This is mainly we want to talk about our trip, our experiences, our first time going to the UK for any of us and our family. We'll take your questions. We can talk about some of the history, some of the places that we went if you want. But yeah, please, don't ask me why I hate Woodrow Wilson, because we're not talking about that today. So
Speaking of heat, I can't turn the overhead on either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, killing me. He won't let me have any fans on. It's so hot in here.
You could turn the fan on, just not the light. It might make noise, but
well, if it bothers him, we'll turn it off.
all right,
How about that?
go ahead, try it.
But
How hard was it understanding Scottish accents?
Not that bad.
Most weren't a problem. There was a couple in the airport when we were in the Glasgow airport.
Grab the.
I struggled with some. Go ahead, turn it on.
Okay.
I just pulled the thing off of that.
Other one.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. At least give me something.
Actually, my wife understood him better than we did.
Well, I used to have a client for about 10 years. I was his legal guardian, and he had a very heavy Scottish accent. So I had a great time talking with him, and it brought back some good memories of him, actually. He's passed now, but yeah.
So we'll try to focus it because people are asking a lot of questions about a lot of different places. So we'll focus it, and we'll kind of talk through the different places we went. So we'll start with London because that was where we went first. We spent 4 nights in London. Our hotel was right by Paddington Station, which was super convenient. Mm-hmm. We were like a block away from the train station, so it was really easy to get around. We never rented a car. We spent 2 weeks in the UK and really had no trouble with that. I mean, we had to walk a little bit here and there. The man Dan, thank you. Why do you hate Woodrow Wilson?
That's funny.
Yeah. So we went to our first full day. We did just a hop on, hop off bus tour, just because we'd been traveling all night. It had been a long night, traveling. We flew overnight from New York, and that was cool. We got to kind of see all the city from the top of the bus and early into bed early at our and then the next day we went to. Are we having trouble with?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Already? I think we might be.
I hate that it's there because I can't see it, because I'd rather be looking there because that's where the thing is. You do yours 2 screens, but different than I do. Which is okay. It's just hard for me to keep an eye on.
All right, I think we're good.
Can you move just that over there, or no?
No, because then they'll see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what they see. Oh, It's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream.
That's what I was worried about. Okay. So London. We went to the Tower of London. We didn't plan a lot. It is definitely lagging. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This happens every single time.
I know. So we always have to start it twice.
It's because we're so far away from the router.
Where's the router?
In the office downstairs.
Why don't you just move the router?
I can't, because that's where the internet connection is.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about this.
Yes, we've talked about this many times.
I'll just call the guy and have him run it.
All right, I think we're good.
We'll see.
Yeah, so this Sunday afternoons seem to be the worst for these, but so we saw the Tower of London. I didn't plan a lot because I knew that we'd be kind of a slow pace. Tower of London was awesome. It was very cool visiting there.
Yeah.
She has an ancestor, Thomas More, who was held in the Tower of London and who was executed on Tower Hill. And we actually got to visit his grave because he's buried in the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, which is within the Tower of London. And there's a monument, like a memorial to him there. So that was very cool.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah, so that was neat. What's crazy about this trip is that I was, this was mainly about me, right? This is my dream trip. But everybody else in the family loved it as much as I did. That was kind of unexpected. Maybe
more. I was kind of disappointed at your lack of excitement. I thought you would be like, "Wah!" And I was all like, "Oh my God, it's a!" And you're like, at one point, you're like, well, "I just have to make sure we know where we're going and what we're doing and everybody's taken care of." And he seemed a little stressed out, and I wanted to see like your excitement, for the first time. But I think I was even more excited than you were. It's pretty awesome.
This is imperative. How was the food?
I think it was fantastic. So my eldest son, who is 14, it's still giving us problems, loves to try new things. So him and I had a ball. Now, everybody else, they don't like to be as adventurous about their food. I think the one thing about the food, is it still going to work?
Yeah, it's the Wi-Fi extenders.
Yeah, we can't run a cord because it goes through the entire house.
Yeah, we're on the opposite end of the house from where the router is.
Yeah, so
keep talking. I'm going to change the
is
settings.
Much healthier. And this was the first time we've ever gone on a vacation where I didn't feel like, how you go somewhere else and you drink their water and your stomach just feels miserable and you're like, oh, and you're all bound up. This is the first time I didn't have any major issues from transitioning food. I think everything we tried, I don't think we had anything bad. It was all very good. And I was all about trying anything that I could to immerse myself in the culture. So when we were in Scotland, pudding, I did as much as I could when they allowed us. But sometimes they were just like, oh, let's have Italian, let's have American, let's have whatever. So
our son loved the fish and chips. Our son, our 14-year-old, and he had that multiple times.
However, why is broiled fish and baked fish not an option? That kind of bothers me because I don't always want a breading on my fish. But okay.
Mr. Beep, I didn't drive at all.
Jellied eels. I'm sorry.
Did not drive on this trip.
Oh no! What are we gonna do? Do you just start over?
And we're losing all our viewers because of
oh no!
This is a constant issue.
So, what do we do? Where's your extender? Extender hooked up?
Yeah, I'm connected to the extender.
It's not helping?
No, it's too.
What if you do it on your phone? Or no, you can't do it that way?
No. It's coming and going, but.
So what do
we did go to Edinburgh Castle. Sorry, I'm just trying to work on.
Oh, there's a storm? Maybe.
There's a storm coming.
Oh, so the jellied eels. I've had eel before. I've not had a jelly eel. But I have had eel and I really enjoyed it, actually. Something. Favorite city? I think we've all agreed we really like York.
York was our favorite of all the places we
visited. We stayed in the Shambles. Great bread and breakfast, just in the middle of everything. Felt very safe. I mean, pretty much everywhere felt pretty safe.
Yeah.
But I felt comfortable walking around that area alone, so I knew where I was going. It wasn't too overwhelming for me. Or if I was in London, I probably wouldn't have felt like I could go too many places on my own. Let's see.
Did we go to any castles? Edinburgh Castle, Windsor Castle.
Windsor Castle was amazing.
Windsor Castle was pretty cool.
Edinburgh Castle. I mean, they were all amazing.
We did not go to Buckingham Palace. We didn't see Buckingham Palace. It wasn't. I've heard a lot of people say it was one of those things where you're like, oh wow, okay, and then you move on. So.
I was in awe of Windsor Castle just walking in. I think very quickly when I walked in, I looked at Chris. I said, I feel so insignificant, and I'm just looking up at the ceiling and all the detail. Very awesome. Very awesome. Just to see. Everybody was super friendly. Somebody asked about locals. I think everywhere we went, overall, everyone that we met in UK, way nicer than Americans. People here are pretty nasty. They're not very nice. When we talk more about Scotland, we'll tell you about the driving, and I was quite impressed by that, too. How considerate they are of each other.
Someone asked if I met any fans. Yes. In Westminster Abbey.
It was so cool.
We were Westminster Abbey. There was a line going out, and we were in line, with a bunch of people, and we finally get into Westminster Abbey, and we're just kind of our first maybe 50 feet inside Westminster Abbey, and there's a guy in front of me, and he turns around and he looks at me and he goes, "I watch you on YouTube." And we got to talking. He was from Rochester, Minnesota, and he was there with a school trip. Like, he's in college, and he was like on a tour, and they were going to some other places in Europe as well.
Did I take the picture of mine or yours?
I think you took it. I don't know how well it would show up on the
I don't know. I really want to say his name's Evan, but if it's wrong and I'm sorry, then I have a horrible memory, I want to say. Super nice kid.
Yeah, he was, and we had a nice chance to talk. And somebody messaged me the other day and let us know that they saw us getting dropped off at the airport in Toronto on our way home, and like they said, I thought about coming up and saying hi, but I didn't. And I'm like, oh, definitely. And this goes for all of you guys.
Especially if you're with us, because we never get to see that, so that's so cool.
This goes for everybody. If you ever see me out in public, yes, definitely stop and say hi. Would absolutely love that. It is not a bother. You're not intruding. Please,
we're not
feel
big
free.
and famous, so it's kind of cool.
No, it's
so
always
like
great to meet people. It's
so
happened multiple times, and it's never been an annoyance to me at all. So.
What day did we go there? Do you know? I'm just curious. I think I took like 9,000 pictures.
All right, so London. We stayed in Paddington, which is a very nice area, very kind of upscale area. It was really cool. We thought it was very clean, very nice.
Yes.
People were very helpful. Like when we were in the tube, and I was a little unsure which direction we were supposed to be going, somebody would always stop. One of the locals would always come over, and immediately, we didn't have to ask. Somebody would just come up and offer help.
Yes.
It happened everywhere we went, England and Scotland. That was
very clean. I was surprised at the lack of trash cans. Here we have trash cans everywhere, especially if you go to New York City, and they're overflowing, and there's trash everywhere. It's disgusting. Even when we wanted to throw stuff away, we had to carry it around for a while before we even found a trash can. And then the trash cans were never overflowing. It just amazed me. So whatever they did, lack of ice is a problem for me.
That was very different.
You probably can't see. I probably have like 40 ice cubes in my drink, but I like everything super, super cold. So when we would go get something, even though it was cold, it wasn't that cold, and I would ask for ice, and they'd bring me like 4 ice cubes. And I'm like, no, like I need like a whole. Here in the States, it's really annoying. I have to say less ice because they'll fill the whole thing, and that's how they get away with like making all this money, and like you barely get any of whatever they're giving you. But even with my water, so ice was, I'd have to ask for like ice multiple times for the same glass. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's with ice.
Hey, Marcel, how's it going? Are you going to the Band of Brothers event in Bastogne in November, Marcel? I met Marcel when we were in the Netherlands.
How did James do?
So how did what?
Say thanks to James, too.
Oh, James, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So we're still talking about London. We'll get to York next in a couple minutes and Scotland. So what else about London? Yeah, so the ice was weird. No air conditioning, whereas here in the United States, mostly everywhere you go, especially hotels, have air conditioning. Not the case in London, which is what makes me really concerned for folks with this really hot weather you've got coming.
So tell me, 7-7, and the bin is the issue for an anti-terror.
7/7 was like their 9/11. It was a terrorist attack.
Oh, so they have less of them because of that.
Because bombs were placed in.
Oh, okay. That
Jack,
makes sense.
Makes total
Thank
sense.
you for adding. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it was very clean. I was very impressed for how clean it was, considering. And then you just hang on to it until whatever, you know.
There was
great.
a bombing in the tube.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
That was, I don't know, what, 10 years ago or so,
geez.
something like that. Did we meet Nessie? We'll get to Scotland. Did you go to the oldest fast food in London? I don't think we had any fast food in London.
No. We had McDonald's for breakfast.
We did go to McDonald's for breakfast, yeah.
And, I got my jam instead of my jelly.
How were the roads in London? We didn't drive, but we were on the bus a little bit. We mostly took the train everywhere until we got to Scotland. So we loved London. It was great. We saw a show. We saw a comedy. It was the play where everything goes wrong, and it was hilarious from start to finish.
Very well done.
Really, really, in a small theater, so that was cool.
Yep.
Evan from Westminster Abbey, right there.
Evan, it was Evan. I remember. I'm usually pretty good with names.
So
Hi, Evan.
Evan is who we met in Westminster Abbey. That's cool. He was standing right in front of us.
Evan, that's the first time I've ever been around Chris when somebody's come up to him, so it was like really cool to see that. Thank you for talking to us and coming over and saying hi.
Yeah, I'm really glad you did that, Evan.
Yes.
I do love my foreign McDonald's, Professor. What? You're right.
Oh my gosh, they wanted to go there, and I was like, we are not going to McDonald's. It was only okay for breakfast.
We had KFC while we were in London too.
Did I do that?
The food's different though. Like it's not as spicy. It's more bland.
Yeah. We did have that. That's right.
How's the Queen doing? Well, we were never around the Queen because when we were in London, she was in Edinburgh. And then when we went to Edinburgh, she was back in England. So, but what else about London? Let's see. I did the Jack the Ripper tour with my daughter. Some people have been asking about that. So that was cool. I guess.
Oh, I found Evan.
There you go.
Am I allowed to show a picture of Evan?
Sure.
Here, you hold it up.
I don't know
Evan,
how well
is
you'll
that
be able to
okay,
see
Evan?
it.
I hope. Oh, wait.
It's blurry. You won't be able to see it that well. But
Evan.
If you follow me on Instagram, I posted the picture of me and Evan in Westminster Abbey.
It took me a while to find it because it was the beginning of a trip.
So
I always have this for both streams.
Yeah, I on Sundays I do.
Call the guy, get the cord ran, man. That's what I say.
Most of the areas where the murders happened don't look anything like they did then. But so I kind of knew that going in, but it was still very interesting, and knowing as much as I do about that topic, I think most of the people on the tour didn't know nearly as much as I did about Jack the Ripper, so they were kind of learning about a lot of these killings for the first time, whereas I mostly just wanted to see the sites where it happened, already knowing the details of everything, so that was cool.
Tell them your Instagram, somebody was asking.
Instagram, it's on the bottom of most of my videos. It's just VTH, or no, it's vlogging through history, I think.
You don't even know.
I don't
have an Instagram.
It's Instagram.com/vlogging through history. Just look for it that way. What else did we do in London? Oh, we went to Windsor Castle, which was amazing.
Oh, man. We had a great talk. Oh, go ahead.
We didn't see Big Ben. We never even heard Big Ben.
We saw Big Ben?
We didn't see Big Ben.
We saw...
Big Ben's the bell.
Ahead.
You can't see Big Ben.
Yes,
we saw Elizabeth Tower, which contains Big Ben.
Yes.
Just being correct.
I don't remember. I think I only heard it once, though. As much as we were always around it, we never paid attention to it enough.
The only museums we went to were like the ones that were in other places. Like we didn't get to the British Museum. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, we just didn't have time for. There's a museum in the White Tower at the Tower of London that we saw, which was really cool. A lot of armaments there.
Oh, they were asking you if the Jack the Ripper tour was scary.
It wasn't. No, the Jack the Ripper tour wasn't scary. It wasn't really meant to be, and it doesn't get dark that early there. So I mean, our tour was from like 6:30 to 8. And it doesn't get dark till like 10.
Well, there. Okay, but like when we were in Scotland, it did not get dark. Literally, I took a picture outside while I was talking to my mom, and it was 11:09 your time, and it was still not dark outside. This is insane to me. Okay, even in the summer, what is it? Dark here at 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. And your sun comes up at 4:30, which is also amazing to me, okay? So you had like, 17 hours of daylight, but all you people, like, the shops aren't even open. The Starbucks next to our place did not open until 11 o'clock. How do you people get going during the day? I don't understand. And then there's like no times on the store, so I don't know when they're going to open. I love the laid back, like, hey, if I want to sleep in, I'm going to open my shop late. So then we go to this one restaurant. I'm like, how late do you open tonight? Making sure we'll get food when we're back from whatever our tours are. And they're like, I don't know, 8, 9, whenever it closes. I'm like, how do you guys function? You guys like have a small window when you're allowed to be open and shopping. I wanted to shop after 6, but no, all the shops are closed at 6 o'clock. Listen, guys, you have all this sunlight. What are you doing? Like, what do you do with it? You're just wasting it. That's just my spiel.
Big Ben's the bell, and it's not out of it's out of commission, so maybe that's why it wasn't ringing, because we never heard it ring.
I don't remember hearing it ring.
Yeah, we never heard it ring.
I thought I heard something ring it too, but maybe it was somewhere else.
Did we go to Wales? No, we didn't go to Birmingham either, so I didn't get to go to Hawthorns. That'll be for a future trip.
Oh, they make their own coffee. Or we lie in. I want to lie in. I'm so jealous. Sorry.
Yeah, Scotland's very much like Alaska. In fact, Scotland is as far north as some parts of Alaska. So we didn't go to the near... No, you can see on the map the main places that we went.
Platform 9 3/4.
Yeah, there's a story about that. So
yeah, we were supposed to.
We left out of King's Cross Station to go to York, which was our next stop. The plan was to get there in plenty of time. Our oldest and our youngest are huge Harry Potter fans, and we wanted to go see Platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross. Didn't realize that the train we were taking from Paddington Station to King's Cross on the tube was at the far end of Paddington Station, because all the times we'd gotten on the train, it was real close on our hotel's end. So it was like an extra 15 minutes longer to get to King's Cross than we thought. By the time we got to King's Cross, we had like 5 minutes to catch our train to York. And so we didn't get to see Platform 9 3/4, and I feel terrible for my kids that we didn't get to see that.
Yes, I'm the extrovert. He's the introvert. You haven't met me before.
Yes, Scottish mad lad. You are absolutely right. So then from London, we went to York, where we had an Airbnb. And if you're familiar with York at all, there's this street called the Shambles, which looks similar to Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, and really close together, all these really cool shops. And our Airbnb was actually on the Shambles. It was above one of the shops. We had 3 stories on the Shambles, and it was fantastic. It was a great location.
It looked over the market.
It looked right over the market. You looked
From
out
the
your
middle
window,
of our steps, we could sit and
you
watch.
saw the Shambles. And it was real close. Like, it was a 5-minute walk to everything. Was great.
This is interesting. I have the window open and I'm hanging out, and like nobody's ever looking up. I'm like, hello, hello. I felt like a princess saying hello to my servants, and nobody was like. I think one person said hello back. It was kind of funny. And what's with the screens? This fascinates me. You're probably tired of hearing this. There's no screens on anybody's windows. Like, here we have screens on all our windows, and if we don't, we typically don't open them. And I loved that you could just open them, and that's how you got your air, because we have a lot of air conditioning here too. But like, if we open our windows and leave them open for a while, I'm gonna have moths and gnats and like, I don't know, mosquitoes and flies. And I think everywhere we went, the windows were open because that was the only way to get the air, of course. And it was beautiful, and I think we had 1 fly in 2 weeks. So how do y'all do that? Where are your bugs? I just, and no bird flew in. Like, we've had squirrels, we've had birds, we've had things climb in windows if they're open. How do you do this, and what's the secret? Because I would love to do that here. That's all I'm saying. So teach me.
The French Kiwi, they consider Windsor Castle their home. Out of all the homes that they own, Windsor Castle is the one the Queen and their family consider to be home. That's why the last multiple generations of royal family members have been buried there. So where the Queen's parents are buried, her grandparents, her great-grandparents. That's where the Queen's husband is buried. That's where she's going to be buried. They consider Windsor Castle home. So
we
that's
don't know
why.
for sure where she's going to. They said
yeah.
Right?
It is.
Didn't
it's
they say
there.
they
Her parents
weren't
are
sure?
there. Her sister's there.
But they didn't want to like.
They just don't know where within the chapel, but it'll be there.
I saw something.
So,
no football matches, unfortunately.
No, football's. It's not
playing.
season.
Yeah.
They're all out of the
Wanted
country.
to. There's screens or windows. So what's a doff?
We did see Henry VIII's grave. That is at Windsor Castle. Basically, any king or queen that's buried in either Westminster Abbey or Windsor Castle, we saw their grave. Tons of them.
We saw Henry VIII's grave.
We did,
too,
yeah, Henry VIII's. So we were in the country. We were in Edinburgh when Boris quit. I was watching that on the news. In fact, a lot of people were making jokes about how the reason it was sunny when we were in Scotland was because Boris quit while we were there.
We only stayed in one hotel. Somebody was saying they did have it on a latch and it was not open enough for the window for me. But everywhere else was bed and breakfast, so they were wide open. But still, no bugs. So I need to know about that.
So York, I think all of us in our family agreed of all the cities we went to, we probably liked York the best.
Yeah.
And that's the one we'd probably most want to go back to. There was a lot we didn't get to see. We were there 2 nights. So we saw the Shambles 2 nights. Okay. We went to York Minster. We did a tour with a lady called Mad Alice. That was pretty cool.
That was fun, yeah.
We went to Clifford Tower. I did make some videos. I made a video at York Minster you guys will get to see. I did a video at Clifford's Tower. What else did we see? We didn't get to go to the Jorvik Viking Museum.
There was the castle of something that they told us. Museums, castles, whatever it was.
The Castle Museum.
We didn't have time.
Get to do that
I heard it was fantastic. I'd like to do that.
Yes, George VI is buried at Windsor Castle also. Okay. No, we did not go to Manchester. Just look there's a map here on the screen that shows you everywhere we went. We saw St. Paul's Cathedral from the outside. Didn't go in it. Didn't see Hyde Abbey. The roads are a lot narrower like they are in most parts of Europe.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We spent a week in England and a week in Scotland, so it was about even of both. Did a video about Constantine outside of York Minster. We did not do Queen Mary's dollhouse in the castle. We skipped that line. We went straight to the state apartments, which were phenomenal, amazing, beautiful, very cool to see. She was blown away by that. The state apartments.
Yeah, absolutely. I could just sit there and just zen out someday. Like if I lived there, I think they said we could go back for a year for free. So if you have one of those you just go all the time, just sit over here in the corner and draw and read and look, and they'd probably kick me out, but it would be nice.
We'll get to Scotland in a minute. So for those asking questions about that,
we did not drive there, thank goodness.
Yeah, we did not drive at all. We just public transportation the entire time, which is very convenient and worked out well. Did you prefer England or Scotland? Now listen, we only experienced a small part of each country, but I think we'd probably all say Scotland.
If I were to live, I would live in England. I don't think I could drive in Scotland. It's a good vacationing place just because it's so spaced out and how do you get all your stuff. But I think that was the part of the trip that we are all just like, wow, the entire time. And even for the kids being on the bus, I thought they'd be bored and like you get out a little bit and you do. They were like the whole time. Like,
yeah, the kids loved it too.
So beauty-wise, it was like, wow. Yeah.
As people keep asking, when we get to Glasgow, we'll talk about my family's pub. So, yeah, we did just miss the Open. We actually met a lot of people who were there for the Open at St. Andrews.
Zach, you should go. If you could go, go. I fought this trip the whole time because the timing was horrible. I just finished my master's. We have a gazillion things we need to do over the summer, and I fought it, but it was an amazing trip.
Sounder, what's going on, man?
You see Xander?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, where's he? Oh, it's spelled very. Hey!
Sander VK. Yeah.
I know who you are. Hello.
Did you see the Angel of the North? No. So York, what else can I say about York? It was cool. There's people busking on the street. We were walking through, and there was this guy singing Phantom of the Opera. So
he was really good too. There's also a guy saying something about plastic bottles and God. So
that was in Edinburgh. We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. We'll tell you that story later.
We did not go to Leeds. No problems with the train strike. The train strike dates were the week before
Thank
we
goodness.
went.
Yeah.
So do I prefer France? No. Yeah, I prefer UK. They speak
Why?
English.
Because they speak English? Okay.
Yes. Did not go to West Brom Stadium because it didn't go to Birmingham. We did go to Ibrox. My sons and I went to Ibrox, but we couldn't tour the inside because they were having a private event that day. So we saw the outside, went into the store. There wasn't much in the store. I was kind of disappointed by that.
Yeah. More in the airport, you said.
There was more in the Glasgow airport store, Rangers store, than there was at the Rangers store at Ibrox.
Somebody talked about the lack of public transportation in America. My 14-year-old's like, I love it here. I can get anywhere I wanted if I needed. So I could see that the kids would love that. Although as a parent, I'd be a little nervous about letting them go on their own.
What has been my favorite country in Europe? So recognizing I've only had limited experience in each of the countries, Scotland.
Surprised by that one.
Yeah, we did not get to Liverpool. Just look at the map, folks.
Maybe you should type on there. People don't know why you just have that there. They think they're probably talking. It does. I mean, I wouldn't have known it.
London, York, Edinburgh, Glasgow were the cities we went to. So we left York. It was a 2-hour train ride from London to York.
I like the portrait. We stayed there.
And then a 2-hour train ride from York to Edinburgh. So we spent a week in London and York. Then we went to Edinburgh, which is all on a hill, which I kind of knew. But it's all uphill or downhill. You're never walking flat.
That was not fun for my legs.
Yeah. Was it expensive?
Depends on how you do it.
Fairly. I mean, in the summer, things are much more expensive than they are, I think, other times of year in the UK.
I mean, there's ways you could do it. If you do a bread and breakfast and you cook your food there, we had cereal for breakfast sometimes, and that obviously saved us as we went out to breakfast. So it all depends on if you watch your rates and when you get your flights and where you stay, and it wasn't cheap, but
yeah. And as somebody said about the accents, absolutely. Just like in the U.S., there are multiple accents. Edinburgh accent's different than the Glasgow accent. It's different than the Highland accent. Lots of accents.
Here's a good one. Rate each city you went to, top to bottom.
Okay. So out of the 4,
let's see if we match on this.
Out of London, York, Edinburgh, and Glasgow, probably not going to match because she's going to rate them on different things than I am.
Okay. What do you think you're going to rate them on versus what I'm going to rate them on?
Experience, but also history.
We're rating.
I'm going to go York number 1.
Yeah, I'll give York number 1. I agree with you on that. We'll see if your number 2 is the same as mine.
No, it won't be.
Okay.
Edinburgh number 2.
That's what mine was going to
Really?
Oh, no.
You said London
No,
number
London.
2.
Sorry. London, yes. London was my number 2.
London 3, Glasgow 4.
And I would have put Edinburgh. And then...
So our first and last were the same.
Glasgow, yeah. We weren't in Glasgow long enough to give it a fair
We were only in a couple little areas in Glasgow.
We got to eat, I think, 2 meals there and then go to bed. So
we went to the cathedral and we went to the necropolis in our hotel.
Yeah. And where we were was more like of a New York City, fairly dirty. And I'm sure there's some much nicer, beautiful areas, but they had trash everywhere too.
So our Airbnb in Edinburgh was right across the street from Parliament in Scotland, on the Royal Mile. Like, you could look out our window and you could see the crags, Salisbury Crags, which are right in front of Arthur's Seat. In fact, she could look out, because my boys and I went up to the top of Salisbury Crags, and she was able to look out the window of our Airbnb and see us up there waving. But Parliament was like right across the street, and Holyrood Palace was like 0.2 of a mile away. We were all the way down at the bottom of the hill from where Edinburgh Castle is.
What's a posh accent?
Posh accent is London.
Oh, I don't know. But somebody said, who could do your best accents in your family? Eli is
Our
amazing.
son Eli does the best accents, yeah.
I used to have a pretty good one when I was watching Love Island and would talk like that around the house and they got mad.
I can recognize accents the best. I can't imitate them. Like, I can tell the difference between a Brummie accent and a Geordie accent and a posh accent. I can tell the difference between a Glaswegian accent and an Edinburgh accent, but I can't imitate any of them.
I did try haggis when I was in Scotland. That was actually very good.
How are the Highlands and Loch Lomond? Loch Lomond was beautiful because we went to Luss, which is on Loch Lomond.
Amazing. All of it.
The Highlands, I lost track of how many times we said wow.
Wow, and
in
this
the
is
Highlands.
Stunning, amazing, beautiful. Listen, if you get a chance to do a tour like that, it was great because it wasn't a ton of walking, though I wish we would have had a little more time at some places.
Somebody asked if I brought back any pounds. I think I got a 10-pound note in my pocket still.
What are you going to do with that?
Oh, maybe not.
Put it in the scrapbook.
No, it must be in my other pants.
Eli
I have a
needs to get
10-pound
stickers.
note from Scotland somewhere. That's about all I have left.
I think Eli's almost taking a nap. He looked like he was about to fall asleep when I came up, so I don't know if he'll be awake. Somebody earlier asked about souvenirs.
Yeah, what do we get for souvenirs?
I got a painting.
We did buy a painting in Windsor. There was a shop in Windsor right by the castle, and they had this really cool painting of Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
That we bought.
It was stunning. We both went, and I usually look at art places, and he's like, "Oh boy," and it's very hard for me to find what I like. And when I find something I like, then it's like, and he liked it. So it is actually being commissioned smaller because what it was too huge for anywhere in our house. So we are commissioning it from the artist. It'll probably be like about 6 months before we get it. And it was a decent price. I really liked that new artist. Unfortunately, they're having a show for him, and then we were not going to be there, or I could have, stayed longer.
Did we go to Edinburgh Zoo? No. How many liters of whiskey did you buy? Actually, I only bought 3 little tiny, like, airline size ones.
I didn't even like them all.
Wasn't a huge fan of the whiskey.
We're not big drinkers.
But I loved I had the cider, the alcoholic, which you just call it cider. That was really good
too. That was similar to my mock. I had a mocktail, or like not a mojito, but it was like fake one, and it was really good. But you had something similar to that.
Any colloquialisms throw you off? Yeah, it took a little getting trying to figure out like phrases that they say.
Oh yeah, jam.
The one that threw me off was trying to figure out the use of no worries.
No, they use it all the time. Like, no problem. No,
but not quite,
okay.
though. It was almost like...
Of course I'll do that. That's fine. Don't worry. It doesn't... It's not a bother, basically, is how they would use it.
The way they said no worries was a little weird to me.
Was it phrases
she had a hard time understanding, like, our driver in the Highlands. Like, when he would say...
fairies.
Like, he would say the word... How we pronounce fairies, but
fairies.
He said fairies, and, like, she didn't know what he was saying.
What's he saying?
I'm like, fairies. It's fairies.
So, like, I asked for jelly at breakfast, and they're like... What's
jam?
jelly?
You mean
They're
jam?
like, jam? You mean jam? I'm like, yeah, jam, that's it. Yeah. What else? There's some other ones, too.
A lot of them I already knew. Like, I knew that that biscuits were cookies.
Oh, you guys have the best. Oh, they're so good.
Bacon's different. Bacon isn't what bacon is here.
He told us
My daughter
the name.
loved the bacon there.
But there's a name for what our bacon is.
They call our bacon something else.
They call ours strip bacon.
Strip bacon?
Yeah. But yeah. And there's something else, too. Okay, you got chips, and then you got skinny fries. Because we have skinny fries here.
Yeah, they do have
fries
fries there, but they're different than chips. Chips are thicker for the most part.
Come to Oklahoma, in which always it is the best resident. Sorry.
We have jam, but we usually call it streaky bacon. That's what it is.
Oh, streaky!
Yeah, that's
streaky, not strict. Yes.
We usually call jam jelly here, at least where we live.
Jelly. But we have jam. We sell jam. We just never really...
Yeah, so Marcel, you were asking about the pub. So my boys and I went to the Old Toll.
Yes. Okay, so you got that off.
And as soon as we walked in, the owner knew who we were right away because I had talked to him on Facebook, and I was wearing a Scotland hoodie, so like I stood out as a tourist. And he walked right up and he goes, I talked to you the other day about the pub. And I'm like, yep, that's us. He knew, like, we hadn't even spoken a word, and he knew right away who we were. So we weren't there very long because it had been a long day already, but it was really, really cool. I had an amaretto sour, and my boys each had a Coke. Better food, France or the UK. Well, Zach, it's not a fair comparison because I didn't really eat the French food. I had fast food the whole time I was there.
No, you had one good meal. You had a steak one night, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was the only time.
Hash browns we had were at McDonald's. Yeah. But I did have a potato scone. That was good. That's the only scone I've really had. It wasn't bad.
Out of all the countries in the UK, which one has the best flag? It's not even close. It's Wales. Wales by far has the best flag. They got a freaking dragon on their flag. It's awesome.
Jelly and jam is jam. They're not the same. Well, you're right. They're not.
So somebody asked, we did see a lot of the churches that were turned into pubs. Somebody asked, what do I want to see that I didn't get to see? Birmingham's the top of my list because it's where a lot of my family came from. Definitely would love to see, what else would be on my list?
We kept saying, we'll have to come back and do this. We'll have to come back and do that.
Yeah. There's a lot more in York I'd love to see.
Okay, crumpets.
I want to see Stirling Castle up close. We drove past Stirling Castle. I want to go to the Bannockburn battlefield, things like that. Didn't get to do that.
I don't even know if I know what crumpets are to know whether we had them or not. What's a crumpet?
I don't think we had crumpets.
I'm not sure I know what crumpets are. I did have an English breakfast.
Yep.
Minus the beans for some reason because the one they had didn't come with the beans, so maybe it wasn't a full English breakfast. But,
yes, Irish and Scots are linked. They both have Gaelic as a language, though I found out in Ireland it's pronounced Gaelic, in Scotland it's pronounced Gaelic. Same word, pronounced differently. Did not see Hadrian's Wall.
My daughter did drink the tea, at least when we were in the hotels. She loved it. We brought back whatever was left in our hotels. I haven't had a chance to try it yet.
Steve Clark, definitely want to go to Towton Battlefield. There's a lot I want to see in Yorkshire. And by the way, somebody asked me about favorite accents. I think Yorkshire's probably my favorite accent of all of them.
No, I didn't have the beans on the toast. I had the jam on the toast.
Saw the Wallace Monument as we were driving back into Glasgow from the Highlands. Yeah. When is Chris coming back? I wish it was September. It won't be that soon.
If Chris is coming back, I'm coming with. We're coming with without him.
West Brom's not playing in the U.S. this offseason. They played in Portugal, and now they're back in England. We did see number 10 Downing Street. We went down and I think we ate at a pub down real close to Downing Street.
Yes, when we have our tea, we have milk and sugar.
Westminster Abbey was amazing. Everything I expected it would be. That was awesome. The food and drinks are not, they're not less sugary in the UK like they are in France and the Netherlands and Belgium. In mainland Europe, they're far less sugary than the US. They're slightly less sugary in the UK, but it's pretty close.
I think they're better. As far as juice, like we had hand-squeezed orange juice. The apple juice is way better there. Everything here in the States is so sugary and so many preservatives. I'm kind of really mad that I'm still here because I would love to live where you are in the food.
Tara be like, I'm coming back whether Chris does or not.
Actually, I'm ready to move and live in London right now. Not in the busy parts, but in York or somewhere.
Mr. Beat makes an appeance.
Mr. Beat, all right.
Hoping to head to the UK next summer. We had an amazing time,
it's
Matt.
Awesome. It was so good.
Yeah, and while we were traveling, I think we were watching all of your pictures from VidCon. Maybe we'll make an appearance at that sometime.
We did go to Inverness, didn't we? Isn't that where the
we did not go to Inverness.
Oh, that's not the same place? Oh, okay.
Inverness is at the other end of Loch Ness.
Oh, okay. We were only at
We were in... we were on the south end of Loch Ness. What was the name of that town?
I don't know. Mr. Breed's bringing all his people. All right. Woo! Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, you do have pubs everywhere. They're fantastic.
That's lucky.
That's
it was
fun.
Oh, Fort Augustus. We went to Fort Augustus right here.
It is strange not getting like a salad. Like the salads are always with the meals instead of separate. But whatever the dressing is y'all have is really good. It's like, ooh, because they don't give you all these choices. They just put something on it, and I like it. It's very good.
So, so Scotland. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Listen, if you have not been to Scotland and have not done a tour of the Highlands, do it.
Let me tell you.
It's so...
If I could tell you one place on planet Earth, and understand, I've been to Hawaii, Alaska, Costa Rica, Montana, some of these incredibly gorgeous places, Northern California.
Nothing compares.
Nothing
Amazing.
comes close to the Highlands of Scotland. Just Glencoe. Wow, that was the first place that just like blew us away. Yeah. And we weren't there that long. You could just sit there all day and just stare. I mean, just the natural beauty. And then the Isle of Skye, just place after place.
And there's so
Skye.
many little trails. Like, we didn't get a chance to go through all of them. We only, I think, really at the most ever had an hour somewhere. But you could just go so many different places and get lost. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, Matt, I saw your picture of you and Mr. Terry. That was cool that you guys got to meet each other.
Jet lag. On the way there, we did great with the jet lag.
It wasn't bad.
As everybody said, we did not go to sleep. We flew overnight. On the way back, I think we're, 4 days home now, and we're still having trouble adjusting.
What's cool about Scotland, and of course we didn't experience this ourselves, but they have like a right of access law there, where as long as you're not like really like disturbing things or being a jerk about it, you can pretty much go where you want to, even on people's property. So, like, they have these trails. Like, there's this one trail, I forget what it's called. It's like 97 miles long that people hike. And then you can just kind of camp out on the side of the trail somewhere. And you can pretty much do that. You just access wherever you want. And you know, the natural beauty is just amazing. The Isle of Skye, we could have spent a week there and not gotten to experience everything.
Michael says he's there. It's one of those things, like, when we go back, we'd still probably do the same tour, like with my mom, because it's like watching a movie and you're like, I didn't get that the first time. Right to Rome,
that's what it's called.
I didn't realize the first time. Yeah, see.
We did see Ben Nevis, which that was one of those things I had been pronouncing wrong. I'd always pronounced it Ben Nevis, but it's Ben Nevis, and we did see it. It's the tallest mountain in Britain.
Okay, here's the biggest thing for us, roads. So here's me, like, we're driving along, and I'm like, this is like a one-way road. Like, he's like, no, this is two-way. I'm like, what do you do when the other car comes? He goes, oh, you'll see, honey. There's passing zones. So they start doing this passing zone thing, and I totally get it. But here in America, people are freaking rude. You could not do that. They would flick you off, and we even have people pulling out guns and shooting people over road rage. It's stupid. It's just so stupid. And, like, everybody's so polite, and they'll back up 3 and 4 cars to the next passing thing if they do. It's amazing to me. Even, like, it's just so much nicer there. Everybody's so much nicer. Anything
particular surprise you about the UK?
That surprised me.
I knew about the roads.
The screens? That? What else? Ice? What's with the ice?
I've been to Europe before, so I was used to the roads being smaller, things like that.
I didn't realize, like, you just, like, back up and take turns. Like, ice. Ice was the biggest. What's with the ice?
What surprised me the most about the UK? How nice everybody was. Yeah. I shouldn't be too surprised, but I'd always read that British people were very reserved and not particularly outgoing. They don't make small talk and things like that a lot, but very polite, very helpful.
Regrets that we didn't stay a week longer, like I suggested.
Yeah, see, Matt said 2 people in his hometown shot each other in a road rage. We had it happen here right before we left.
Where's he from?
He lives in Kansas.
But see, that's just...
we did not visit the Isle of Arran. Any regrets?
That we didn't stay longer.
That we didn't stay longer,
yeah. Totally.
You know, listen, when you have a family of 5, especially with 2 teenagers and a 9-year-old, you expect that after a certain amount of time together in one location that you start to kind of get on each other's nerves and you want to go home. Yeah. That didn't happen.
No, I was very surprised with that.
We got to the end of 2 weeks in the UK and we were all like trying to figure out ways we could stay longer.
I thought for sure they'd be like, I need my computer, I need to talk to my friends, I need to get online. No, it wasn't like that at all.
Was the amount of queuing a surprise at all? No, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
I don't think it was any different than it would be here.
Actually, it's more polite there because they're like, are you in the queue? Yeah. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you be? Isn't that how things work? We stand in line, I think, here more.
Would you enjoy being the Duke of York area? Each of your family members could be a baron of their cities. Yeah,
depends on what that includes.
What did the kids like the most? Probably Skye.
The Highlands,
yeah.
Rachel and Eli went like right away. They're like, we're moving here.
Yeah, our kids want to move to the Isle of Skye.
And then today Rachel goes, okay, maybe I don't want to live there because it's hard to get to places, but I want a vacation there. I want a vacation home there. That's what she said.
Did you hear much about British current events? Yeah, I was watching the news the day that the Prime Minister resigned. Yes, this is my wife.
I hope so.
Did pubs stay open till 2 a.m.?
No.
The pubs might have.
Nope. I went in when we were getting drinks and asked. He's like, oh, whenever it slows down. Well, it depends on where. What city?
Where in the UK would I most want to visit second trip? We definitely want to go back to York. I want to go to Birmingham just because a lot of family ties there. How was the exchange rate? It was about
1.21.
Yeah, it was $1.21 to £1.
But it almost everywhere took the card, which was great, except for one place. that
we have degrees in queuing, Tara.
Yes, we went in queuing. Oh,
yeah.
how funny! Yes, we went to Shambles. We stayed there, loved it.
Loved the Shambles. Our Airbnb was right on the Shambles.
Great B&B. Had 4. We all had our own bedrooms. The woman was very good at little details. It was a great little spot.
We didn't do any boat tours around Skye, but that would be very cool.
I would love to. We did do a ferry. The one and only turntable existing ferry.
Yeah, we took a ferry to get onto Skye.
Yeah.
We ate in pubs several times. Yep.
What's a proper English pub lunch? I don't know what that is.
There's no COVID restrictions there. The only COVID restriction we encountered was flying home because we flew from Glasgow to Canada. And Canada's got restrictions, but no restrictions in the UK.
Jack's asking our favorite restaurant on the trip. I think 2 different times, almost 3, we ate at that Italian.
Ask Italian.
It's
a chain. It's an Italian chain. We loved it.
Yeah, everything was good from the appetizers. We had desserts there each time. Kids liked it. Prices were reasonable. Very good. I wanted Indian food, and this one would not go for it. Caleb and I were going to do
Wales, yes. We do want to go to Wales.
Yes.
What U.S. state would you say is most similar to the U.K.? It depends where in the U.K. The closest thing to the Highlands would be Montana.
But why?
But it still doesn't come close. And then maybe some parts of Northern California, like the area around Lake Tahoe, reminds me some of the Highlands.
Yes, the restrictions in Canada had a lot to do.
It had a lot to do with our delay in getting home. It had everything to do with our delay in getting home.
And they kept sending us from line to line to line to line, and no, it's this airline's problem, this airline's problem. By the time they figure it all out and they rebook us a flight, that flight was already gone. So they don't know what they're doing. There's not enough
Tesco's
help.
or Sainsbury's? Sainsbury's. I think I prefer. Those are the grocery stores, the little grocery stores. Now we didn't go.
See Sainsbury. I only saw the Tesco's.
Yeah, the Sainsbury
was the Costco.
No,
C-O,
Tesco.
C-O.
It was Tesco.
No, there was one that had 2 letters. There was a C-O, C-S, C-S,
anyway,
whatever. But yeah.
No, Sainsbury's was right next to the Ask Italian in Glasgow that we went to.
No.
It was the one with the orange sign. Yeah, we did. It was right next to our restaurant.
Oh, that little place.
Yeah, that
okay,
was
you like which
Sainsbury's.
one better?
That.
Versus the other one?
Versus Tesco. But we didn't go to a full Tesco. It was just Tesco Express. That was all we went to.
Yeah. Okay. What was the one that was right around the corner you kept going to get somewhere else? Because that had a great one that I went one time and brought back. Oh, when we stayed in the Shambles. Where was that one? That was a good one. They had all kinds of stuff. That was a big grocery store.
That was Sainsbury's.
Okay, that was good. Yeah. They had great cheese.
Does UK feel more expensive than France because of the currency? No, I didn't think so. Although right now I think the dollar and the euro are about even in exchange rate.
I was actually surprised things didn't cost that much there as I thought they would.
Andrew, there was a ton of bottled water. We found bottled water everywhere.
All the time. Oh, yeah.
The difference is they're not as big about cold drinks there in the UK. It was difficult to get cold drinks sometimes.
Even when you got it, it wasn't very cold.
Let's see. Any Canadian I've ever heard say, yeah, they prefer WestJet. My daughter has named them Worst Jet. We did not have a positive experience with WestJet.
They were very nice to us, but lack of staff everywhere.
Both of our flights on WestJet were delayed significantly because of no crew.
At border control trying to get back to London. Oh, no.
What part of Britain did we like the most? Granted, we didn't see much of it, but the Isle of Skye and in York, I think, were probably our favorites. So, yes, we didn't go to George Square in Glasgow. Now, you know what else I didn't see in Glasgow that I wish I had? We didn't see the statue with the cone on the Wellington statue.
Yeah, Rachel was disappointed about that. WestJet's terrible.
However, Delta, which every time I've gone to Europe, I've flown on Delta, and that's never been a bad experience. And we flew from Boston to Cleveland getting home on JetBlue, and that was fantastic as well. First time on JetBlue.
I don't know what a British McDonald is.
We did ride the railways. We took the LNER
very nice,
from London to York and from York to Edinburgh.
They were both very nice, very smooth, nice. Better than I anticipated.
Sus activities, we did go to the Old Toll. There is very little littering. Well, it depends. Like in London, most of London where we went, the touristy areas, no trash anywhere. You did not see trash. Whitechapel, different story.
Yeah.
We got off the tube in Whitechapel, and there was immediately a trash thing that was overflowing with trash laying all around it. It was very different. The Wellington statue is our greatest national
I've heard
treasure.
that. I heard that. You just keep it on there from now on.
We did not have the deep fried Mars bars, and everybody keeps asking us
I'm
about
not a fan of Mars anyway, so deep fried doesn't sound great. You talked about the old toll.
What tube lines did we use? We did the Elizabeth line. We did the Central line. We did what was the one with the weird name? The weird name.
The brown one doesn't have air. I know that.
The humidity wasn't bad.
We did brown, yellow, and another one. Orange,
Let's see.
I think. I just know the colors. I don't know.
I'll tell you in a second.
Humidity was actually way better than here.
Yeah, humidity wasn't bad at all.
I was good with your weather here because I'm always hot no matter what. So I liked it. I didn't see any pizza vending machines.
No pizza vending machines like I got in France.
Through denim, it gives an amazing view. Yeah, we did like the liner because we could see a lot.
We did Central. We did Bakerloo. We did the Circle line.
Yes. Oh, sorry, Bakerloo.
We did District
Bakerloo,
once.
Yeah.
And we did the H&C.
Someone asked us about British snacks. I tried a couple of different like chocolates, candy bars, things like that. For us, I don't even know what they were.
British snacks.
Definitely had the biscuits. Ooh, is that what they call them? Like the shortbread, whatever.
The
The shortbread
shortbread was
cookies
really
were.
good. Yeah.
Loved them.
And hey, for our Dutch friends, they had stroopwafels there too, and they were really good.
Oh yeah, my kids like those. Oh, okay. Somebody asked about souvenirs earlier. I tried to buy magnets because I like to collect magnets from different places. I'm so bummed we did not have time to be at a shop in Scotland when they were actually open, so we do not have a Scotland.
There's
magnet.
a pizza vending machine in
places.
Glasgow, and I missed it.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of things in Glasgow we did not get to see. We were not there long enough.
I do want to do Bosworth Battlefield.
Cadbury. Yeah, I did try something that was a Cadbury. It was kind of like a Twix, but not a Twix.
Yeah. Leicester will be in the next trip for sure. I definitely want to see Leicester. Let's see what else.
Do you plan on visiting the Balkans?
The Balkans. That's like Croatia.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, Germany, Switzerland. Yeah, my son definitely wants to go to Germany. Switzerland would probably give the Highlands a run for their money as far as the beauty of it.
I really knew. Really good too. Very traditional pizza place. There's just like, we were there so long, there's so many different places they were running together for me. Some of them, the food places we ate, because we had a really good little Italian pizza
Did
place.
go to the grave of Queen Elizabeth I. I've got a picture. I took a selfie of me with her grave.
Yeah, we tried to go shopping on Sunday. Didn't work so good. We were surprised by the hours, yeah. Scotland or England, which one was better? I don't think either one's better. They're just different.
Different,
They're both
very
amazing.
different, yeah. The history, I mean, there's just so much history there. I mean, we in the U.S. have no idea what history is.
Oh, yeah, it's boring over here. And I loved when we were on the Highlands tour, he would tell us all these different stories and legends, and it was just great.
Extreme Wasabi, we loved York. It was, I think we all agreed it was our favorite place that we visited.
Yeah.
As far as the cities go. Transylvania would be very cool. Would love to go to Romania someday. We've talked about maybe doing like a Danube river cruise down the road sometime and hit a lot of those
cruises.
cities. Yeah.
If I'm on a cruise anywhere, if I'm on a boat, I'm happy. Asia. I don't know. We've never really talked about Asia.
No.
Does that feel weird to be back and have our own car? Yeah, you said on the way home.
That when we drove home from the airport, that was my first time driving in 2 weeks. So, yes, there will be a longer visit. I have 2 videos from Edinburgh cemeteries. One from the Canongate Cemetery and one from the Greyfriars Cemetery.
Oh, Russian history.
We did see the Scottish Crown Jewels and the Stone of Scone when we were at Edinburgh Castle.
Yeah. Oh, Rachel was fascinated by the
we saw the British Crown Jewels in London.
The block.
The Stone of Scone. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, that's what it's called. Okay, so she was fascinated by that, and that thing was like over 300 pounds, and these kids just like stole it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing to me.
Jack Hardy. Yeah, I mean, I typically avoid stuff that's more modern, but I've been a little more lax in my policy on that as of late.
Big softy.
We did not get to go to the Jorvik Center. Just had very little time in York. And in hindsight, we wish we would have had a couple more days in York. Yeah. Especially because our Airbnb was so great.
Oh, yeah,
we had a great Airbnb
The only downfall to that was, though, so we had, like, when you first walk in, there's a floor, then there's a floor with 2 bedrooms, right? And then you go up and your living room, whatever you call it, is attached to your kitchen and a bathroom. Was there a bedroom there or no? And then upstairs there's 2 more bedrooms. So like we were all on different floors half the time. It was hard for us to all to be together. Whereas the first place we stayed, we were all in the same bedroom, and there's like 3 beds all in the same room. So it was kind of like they had more time to themselves. And at that point of our trip, they probably wanted it, but for too long, then I would have to keep like going to check on kids and call them down. And
So somebody asked, what European country would an American feel most at home visiting? Now, understanding my experience in Europe is limited to, Belgium, a half a day in Germany, a week in France, and a couple of days in the Netherlands, and then the UK. So I've hardly seen everything, but I think were it not for the language barrier, of all the places I've been so far, Germany reminds me the most of the United States. The roads are the most similar. The towns seem the most similar. And I think in World War II, veterans had a similar experience. I said from what I've read, World War II veterans seemed to relate to Germans more than anybody they met in Europe.
Your man crush. Are you Scottish? Mad lad. You should visit the Scotland's other great cities. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading it. Like Aberdeen and
Dundee, yeah.
The latter of which was visited by your
man crush Grant in his world tour. Yep.
I have a man crush on Grant.
Did we look at all the statues in Parliament Square? No, not really.
I don't remember being in
Poland. So I don't know if Saunder's still in here, but he was hitting me up about doing a trip to Poland next year. He wants me to go with him to Poland, so we'll see. We did not see the Glenfinnan Viaduct. We were on a Highlands tour, so we didn't get to choose where we went.
How small everything is. I didn't think things were small, did you?
No, I
don't remember thinking anything was small.
Things are closer together, but yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't go to 1066 battlefields. No,
Visits.
I wasn't in Frankfurt. I was close to Stuttgart. What traditional British dish did you like the most?
I don't know that we had any dishes. I just had things that were. I mean, the English breakfast was probably but I don't know that I had necessarily an English dish, did I?
Hamilton or Grant? Grant. Both Scottish clans, by the way, Hamilton and Grant. We did see Nelson's column. Is the Duke of Wellington the best general Britain ever had? Probably. Somebody else asked a question.
Oh yeah, lots of double-decker buses. Sorry.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of museums.
Yeah, we went through
Edinburgh Castle was fantastic. That was really
Cross
cool.
Station, yes. I should have tried a chicken. I did have something that was a Marsala. Like I had chicken Marsala. Is that what you're talking about? I'm having trouble reading because I don't have my glasses on. It was fantastic. But I mean, we have that here, so it wasn't like anything that I hadn't had before.
Clan Gordon is the best. Is Wellington better than Grant? Yeah, probably. Did I see any Glasgow smiles in Glasgow? Thankfully, no. We did, however, see a bunch of teenage girls with hardly any clothes
Okay, yeah,
on.
so what's this about in Glasgow that girls don't want to wear clothes?
Yeah.
Especially when it's freezing and they're all in their bikinis and crop tops.
Steve,
and
yes.
These hats, these bucket hats, like, and they all
Steve,
have the same hair.
you will see. I got video of the 1 o'clock gun. We were there for that. So yeah, we leave Edinburgh. We arrive in Glasgow. The second we get off the train, it was like the women from 18 to 25 forgot where all their clothes
like this to my
were.
son. I'm like,
It was cold.
and bras. They didn't wear bras, many of them.
It was a chilly day, and they were all basically walking around like they were in bikinis.
Yeah.
And it was like all of them. It wasn't just a few here and there. It was like everybody.
I still think some of them were younger. You keep saying 18. I think some of them were 16, 17.
I'm trying to hope that they were all adults.
A little bit trapped. And they weren't all skinny and pretty. I get it, if you got a great body, showed off, but not to that extent. Like, they were heavy people like my size, and they're like wearing like skimpy, tight stuff. But
Jonathan, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if your last name's McDonald, you don't think that Clan Campbell is the best.
Oh, no. Why do you say that?
Especially if you were a McDonald from Glencoe.
We heard all kinds of fun, interesting stories about them. Oh, what was the place we put our face in the water?
Oh, yeah.
We did that.
That was on Sky. I forget exactly where it was.
River.
A lot of cool,
Legends.
really cool, like stories like about the clans and everything was really, really cool.
Music festivals. I was so bummed we didn't get time to go see Ed Sheeran because he was there when we were
Ed
there.
Sheeran was playing at Wembley while we were in London, and we kind of wished we would have
known that ahead of time because we could have gone. Yeah, but we didn't have time and weren't aware of it.
Yeah, but you know what? Lord
so
Yeatmeister, it was only Glasgow that we saw that. We didn't see that
anywhere else.
people dressing like that anywhere else, and it was everybody. Like it was all all the girls in Glasgow were doing
Lots of girls around Scotland. What did I say?
Was public transport super crowded?
No.
The only day
Not
it
like
really
New York.
was the Saturday that we went to Windsor.
It wasn't
was
bad,
pretty
though.
crowded.
It wasn't bad. Nothing like
But no, it wasn't
New
terrible.
York City or, Saw a couple canals.
Bald and Bankrupt's video. No, I haven't seen that.
Creep.
We loved Edinburgh. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Saw Ed Sheeran at Wembley. It was first class.
Oh, awesome.
We
He's
saw
always
him.
great.
We saw him a couple years ago in Pittsburgh. What's up, Lord Mars? Would love to visit Sweden sometime.
I didn't get to call you Lord anything.
Yeah.
Lordship that you now have this name.
Did we see any parks in London? So Hyde Park was right next to our hotel. I think we saw a little bit of Kensington Park.
What does Elvis Presley have to do with any of this? But okay, hi.
Lancaster is better than York, and our castle is better. Yeah.
We call them what? Shavs? What's that? In British, we call them shavs.
No, I don't believe
Shaves?
the
What's
theory that Elvis is alive. He
What's that
died
mean?
when I was 11 days old.
Shave, shavs, what are we saying?
Where?
In British, we call them... What's that?
Chavs.
What does that mean?
I don't
What's
know.
it for? I don't know what comment you're talking about.
Did I do my best William Wallace impression? No. I did wear my Rangers in Glasgow jersey in Glasgow. Got a new one. My youngest and I we got new jerseys at Ibrox, and I have a picture of us in front of Ibrox Stadium wearing our jerseys.
Awesome.
Windsor Castle was awesome. Loved
Yes,
that.
yes.
Definitely worth it. We basically
to
made
see
a
more
day
of it.
trip to Windsor for that.
Oh, the new Elvis Presley movie? Very good. Yeah, we did see that.
We haven't seen the new one.
No, wait.
The new one that just came out.
Oh, maybe we
haven't
just
seen
keep watching him do interviews and trailers. No, okay.
Favorite
We've seen him
Premier
a lot,
League
though.
club? I don't really have one because my favorite team's in the championship right now. Yeah, I don't really
Was
have
it
one.
really Nessie you saw? No, we didn't see
No, we
Nessie.
saw a duck.
Oh, we saw a duck.
We saw a duck in Loch
We
Ness.
didn't have nearly much time there either. It's kind of a bummer. Very beautiful area, though. I need a boat there.
Chavs are like trailer trash.
Travs? Oh, Chavs?
Yeah.
Oh, did we see them? Is that what he's saying?
No, he's talking about those girls.
Oh,
in
Chav is
Glasgow.
a rough type of person. Okay, thank you, Steve Clark.
Jet lag wasn't bad going out because after, this was my third time going to Europe this year. And I learned on my trip to France to stay up and to not nap in the middle of the day, stay up that first day. So I think we adjusted really, really
Yeah,
well. By
we
the
did.
second day, we were fine.
We did.
It's been a little harder
On the
coming
way
back.
which is weird because it's not even what our schedule was before. Somebody said considering your daughter plays Roblox on Rural High on Roblox, you should play it on your channel doing some World War II games. I didn't know it had those.
I want to do the. They have a Waterloo
funny.
game, the Napoleonic Wars one. I'm gonna have to play it sometime.
That was funny.
Paulo, so big fan of, you're in the Army. Thank you for your service, Paulo. And you love the Civil War videos. Going to be more content for that coming. I hinted at this in a post the other day. I can't announce any firm plans yet, but me and some other historical site YouTubers, and hopefully, if we can make it work, a friend from the American Battlefield Trust, are going to be visiting Antietam and maybe some other places, but that's still in the works, so I don't want to announce anything official right now. We did not see the Culloden battlefield. We were close to that. We didn't get as far north as that.
The news and TV as crazy as it is here in the U.S. We didn't have a lot of time for TV.
No.
The only time we did turn on the news like once or twice just to kind of see what's going on. It was a little calmer, I think, but I did watch some TV in the evenings as like when we were trying to fall asleep when my daughter and I were in the same room. And you guys have a lot more that you can put on your channels that is a little shocking or
Yeah.
more sexual innuendos and like some of the stuff they were saying. I was like, oh, this is on TV. Okay, oh, so yeah.
The news is more restrained in the
Yeah,
UK. Yeah,
which
that's
I
true.
like. I like it. I like it way better.
Yeah, Culloden. Yeah, I know, that's what I was saying. We didn't get that far north. Culloden's just, I think, southeast or east of Inverness, right there. No, we didn't get that far up.
You do videos on.
Yeah, at some point, Abdullah.
More Ballage news here. Oh, there? Yes. I thought
Yeah.
you meant here. No. Yeah.
Lampard or Gerrard? Gerrard.
News is like entertainment here now. You're just like, it's a mess.
I'm a little biased with Gerrard, though, because he used to coach Rangers. The Watershed is 9 p.m. Yes, right, righty. There will be some videos. I actually had not planned on making any videos for the channel when there, but ended up doing some kind of off the cuff with no real like planning ahead of time. So you'll see Edinburgh Castle. There's 2 cemeteries in Edinburgh that I did. There's the Glasgow Cathedral and Necropolis. There'll be a video about the Glencoe Massacre. You'll see one from the Tower of London. So I got to edit all those, but I got to get through all my stuff from World War II, from the Netherlands and Belgium first. Beef
Supreme was asking if we think they swear more. I don't think so. I really never heard it.
I didn't think so.
They didn't swear. Like, here's worse.
Yeah. I'll be doing more Hearts of Iron on the gaming channel at some point. I would say the most obnoxious people that we met in the UK were other Americans.
Yes. Especially on our trip
to
the Highlands.
We've seen the first season of True Detective. Did the Queen make me a knight? No.
No, but I, paid for him to have a lordship.
I am, however, a Scottish lord. And
I never once called him that. I should have.
Yeah, so here's my proclamation. I am a Scottish lord.
And I'm really upset we didn't get to go see the land that we now own, that I bought at Christmas time.
Did I try on a kilt? No, she wouldn't let me.
Nah, you could have tried it on. I wasn't going to let you buy it. I did see a gentleman lift up his kilt while he was in, the Loch Ness or whatever. And, at least he had something underneath it. Otherwise, I would have been in for a big surprise. And he giggled at me because he saw me look as he did it.
Lord VTH. Is there any possibility Richard III was not responsible for the murders? I think there's a strong possibility he was not responsible for the murders of the princes in the Tower. And, of course, we saw the supposed grave of the princes in the Tower in Westminster Abbey. It's labeled as the grave for them. It was the bones they found in the late 1600s but have never been tested. So, Lord of all the Scots. Hey, I am a 14th great-grandson of King James IV of Scotland, so yes.
Hey, though our accent isn't exciting to them. Their accent's fascinating to me. I'm bummed I have to come back here and not be able to
Not a true Scotsman, then, no. I have watched Doctor Who. What did people find our accent interesting? There are a lot of tourists everywhere we went. Everywhere we went, there were a lot of other Americans around, and a lot of places we went, people weren't even speaking English. Like when you go to London, there's a lot of people speaking other languages there. So they don't do as much small talk.
No, yeah, Scottish Lord thinks it's a scam. It is.
Is Prince Charles really? Yeah, Prince Charles is a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler. Yes, that is true.
You drink tea more than coffee? No.
Not a fan of English tea because
Iced
it tends
tea
to be.
But...
I don't like Earl Grey. I think Earl Grey is like bath water. It's gross.
Are you?
Yes, we went to Westminster Abbey.
Doctor Who on the trip? No, I didn't watch that.
We didn't watch much of anything.
I watched a movie on the way out. I watched Dear Evan Hansen because I didn't get to see it. My daughter was supposed to watch it with me. She's like, no, so I watched that. On the way back, I started watching a series about a woman who wanted to kill her husband.
Yeah, and moving on. Have not watched the show Outlander. I've been telling her we need to start watching that.
Listen, we've not had time. I've been doing my master's for 3 years. There's no time for TV. Now, finally, maybe.
So, one of the cool things was when we were on our drive up to Skye, for example, when we took this route here, there's a road there they call it the Skyfall Road because it was the area where they filmed the James Bond movie Skyfall, and it's also where the scene in the opening of Dark Knight Rises, where Bane takes over the plane and then they wreck the plane and everything. That was all filmed over this area right here on the way from Glasgow up to the Highlands. So that was cool. And of course, like the movie Outlaw King with Chris Pine as Robert the Bruce. Like there's a scene that they film where he kills John Cummin, which was filmed in the crypt of Glasgow Cathedral. Recognized that right away. The end of The Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson, is filmed in Glasgow Necropolis. So it was cool seeing all those places that we see in movies and TV. We have been to the Statue of Liberty.
Yugoslavia. I don't know.
Do I think Westminster Abbey has the most famous graves in one place? Yes, I think probably so.
I just missed my mouth.
I mean, come on, listen. You're in one spot where in the span of 5 minutes you can see the graves of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin and Charles Dickens and like multiple kings and queens going all the way back 1,000 years, and Stephen Hawking is buried there, and all these prime ministers that are there. It's just ridiculous the amount of history that's there in that one spot.
Any Scandinavian history anytime soon?
Is first or business class the only way to fly? We actually flew going out. We were on Comfort Plus on Delta, which is like a step up from regular economy, and it was pretty comfortable.
Well, even
it wasn't
our
bad.
JetBlue on the way back, there was a lot of room.
Yeah,
in
and
there
that was just
for,
economy.
just regular. Somebody asked you if you were going to cover any Scandinavian history anytime soon. You don't know much about that, do you?
We've done some, but yeah, we'll definitely do some more. It is like the ultimate cemetery visit. USA to Britain. It's a 6.5 hours in the air from New York to London.
Yeah, but
bad.
we had something before that because we didn't go straight to.
Yeah.
So we had 3 hours before that, right?
Well, an hour from Cleveland to New York.
Oh, an hour. Okay. But we had an hour drive too. So it depends on where you're flying out of.
Mr. Willenshower, yeah, it's been a long time. There's a ton of Roman history in the UK.
He likes to be different.
In York, for example, right in front of York Minster, there's a statue to Constantine because Constantine was proclaimed emperor in York while he was in York. So, ton of Roman history in the UK.
Oh, we got this guy fooled. You said we're both amazing. Thanks. Tomb of the Unknown Warrior. We did go see that,
We did
right?
see the Tomb of the Unknown Warrior, yep.
Yeah.
I'll do some more armchair historian videos in the future. I've done a few of his already.
Castles we talked about.
The only castles we saw in Scotland, we toured Edinburgh Castle. We saw Stirling Castle from the highway.
Okay.
We saw Elandonnan Castle, Dunvegan Castle on Skye, which is the seat of the MacLeod family.
That McCree, was that a castle or no?
Dunvegan was the only one we saw on Skye. Favorite tomb in Westminster Abbey.
Did you hear me?
What?
I'm on the wrong side of you for you hearing me, huh?
No, you're on the right side.
What was the one that was for my family? The
That
McCree?
was Elandonnan.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't understand.
Let's see. Favorite tomb in Westminster Abbey. Ooh, probably Elizabeth and Mary. Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Mary I. And there's a marker right in front that talks about how these sisters, one Protestant, one Catholic, buried side by side. Basically telling you stop and ponder the divisions that once existed and how we can get along, kind of thing.
Oh, this is a great question. Who would you say British people are most like from the U.S.? New Yorkers, Southerners?
Depends on where you go. London, most like New York, I would say.
I don't know. So
nicer than New York.
Nicer, but I think even though they're both big, I think New York is more faster paced and more very business oriented, always on their phone, always working, and not taking time to look around and notice people. Where I think in London, people are very aware and grounded and talking to people in a slower pace.
Before I forget, Ben Lawton, we went through Durham on our train, so we got to see Durham Cathedral, so that was cool. What else?
Probably more Southerners are more hospitable, so probably more like that too.
Yeah. Probably in terms of how hospitable and how welcoming and friendly, similar to Southern U.S., which makes sense because a lot of the Southern U.S. was settled by Scots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yes, I liked the English breakfast.
She had English breakfast, not my thing. I'm a picky eater.
I'll try anything. Oh, I also tried, what was it, Marmite, or what was this
Marmite,
stuff?
yeah.
What do people do with that, and why? Ugh.
Any stadiums?
I had blood sausage.
Saw Ibrox Stadium. Didn't see any Premier League or Championship Club stadiums. I don't think we saw any of the stadiums, even when we were in London.
How would you rate it? What are we rating?
Overall, what would you rate it from 1 to 10?
Rate what?
The UK. Favorite place I've ever visited.
12.
12, yeah. Loved it.
It's fantastic. You want to go back?
Our
live there?
Our entire family agreed it was probably our favorite vacation we've ever taken. So, yeah.
Although we don't get out much.
True.
I don't get out much. Other than Costa Rica and Canada. And
Hey, Marmite's nice, thank you.
what do you do with it?
It's gross.
It is one of those things you either love it or hate it, they told me.
That's what people said, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good tier spread.
God tier spread.
God tier spread. What's that mean?
That just means it's amazing.
What do you put it on? Ugh. And I like almost anything.
It's an acquired taste.
I
would
like,
not want to acquire that taste.
What else do I like that most people don't like? When we go on the cruises, I love, the little eel thingy, the snails. Escargot, love that. Like, I like that kind of stuff too.
No, Marmite actually, I think, comes from Australia.
Try Marmite by putting too much on. Probably. I mean, I just put a
No,
little
Elliot, I never saw any of the stadiums in London, and I know there's a bunch of them.
Is a week vacation there enough? No. Unless you just go to, one city and stay there. I think we, what did we go, 5? And it was 2 weeks, and it was just not long enough.
The longest we were in any one place was 4 nights in London. Yeah.
We did have some custard cream.
Until you go to Ireland. We saw the William Wallace Monument as we drove by. Definitely want to go to Ireland someday.
I do want to go to Ireland bad, yeah.
And we both have roots in Ireland.
Listen, here's what I really want is we need a helicopter because some of these places are so much better from above. So, can you guys just, can you get your channel bigger and we can just, have a helicopter to look at everything from above? Everything should be seen from a drone point of view as well because it's amazing. We did have fish and chips. Very good.
Marmite toast with butter. How many states have I visited? 48. I have Rhode Island and Utah are the only 2 left.
And I ruined Utah by, being definitely
we had a trip to Utah,
pregnant.
and she got
sick. Had it scheduled, booked, everything. I was doing a conference there, and he was going to go with me. And little guy, the last one, made me so sick I was not allowed to travel when I was pregnant with him. So we did not get to go.
Scotland or England? I don't know that we liked one or the other more. Just liked them for different reasons.
Yeah. Round 1 and you can fly. It's got to be super.
VTH
Yes!
Helicopter fun.
I like the Mandan. You could rent a helicopter. Well, only for a couple hours, right?
Scottish Mad Lad. Was Glencoe beautiful? That is an understatement, dude. It was mind-blowingly beautiful. It was.
I love baked beans. Harry, is it Harry or Henry? I can't see.
Harry.
I love baked beans. Love them.
Glencoe.
They just didn't come where I was at. It wasn't part of the way they had their breakfast too. I'm sorry. Was I interrupting you?
Yes, repeatedly. Glencoe is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Definitely. I like the London street signs. I like those. No, they're different. Because on the wall.
Big.
You didn't know they were street signs.
Oh, on the street. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Very much enjoyed Edinburgh Castle. You'll see. I did a video from there. I loved Edinburgh Castle.
For a while, I thought they were the names of the buildings until you told me.
Danny's already booked his Spitfire flight of the White Cliffs if he gets 1 million subs.
That's right.
Haven't booked it, but yes, that is the plan.
Long way to go.
1 million subs.
Where's that at?
I get to fly on UK.
Oh, let's get there quick. How about you only got 300,000, huh?
That's down here.
Let's get there quicker. Come on, guys.
In this area.
How many you have? 330 or I don't even know.
I'm at 300.
God, a long way. So if you guys just all share and be like,
everybody starts subscribing,
guy,
so I can fly on a Spitfire.
Sooner.
Look at it from a Spitfire. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going in that.
What country was better, France or UK? UK, but I'm biased a little bit.
Top 3 beautiful parts in Scotland. All of it.
Glencoe.
Yeah.
The Cairngorm. No, not Cairngorm Forest. No. Glencoe. What was the name of the place in Skye? Around. The Fairy Glen.
Yeah.
Fairy Glen in Scotland, and then I'm trying to remember the name of the spot.
Which one are you thinking of?
I can't remember the name, so I can't tell you. It was the place where we went up on the hill, and we only had 10 minutes there.
Where you rode the drone?
You could see,
with the water?
Not where we did the drone.
Where
you could just see forever. But I forget what it was called.
I don't know. I liked where the waterfall was, on the side of the coast.
That was Kilt Rock. That was really cool too. It was up in this area somewhere.
All of it. Just amazing. Just not enough time there.
Keep answering questions while I look for it.
That's all. Did we go to the Imperial War Museum? Nope. Didn't have time.
Nope. We did see the HMS Belfast from the outside, but I didn't get to tour that.
Time to start making more alt accounts. You have a ton. Oh, Dan the man. The man. That's funny. Did you meet anyone that recognized you? Yes, we talked about that earlier.
Would love to visit Australia someday. That's a long trip, though.
There's just not enough time to go to all these places we need to go to.
Yeah, Scott, we mentioned earlier, did run into somebody that recognized me in Westminster Abbey.
Yeah, but it was fun. Netherlands or Belgium?
Netherlands or Belgium? We have a lot of fans in the Netherlands. Belgium.
Sorry, I can't compare. I've been there.
We did briefly go through Perthshire. We went to... Where was it?
Hampton Court.
Where was that place?
I like cheese. Yes, I love cheese too, man. Oh, look, Glendale.
Pitlochry, is that in Perth? I think it is. Pitlochry was a cool little town.
We went through there, yeah.
Yeah, we went through this way right here, Blarethall.
How to spell it.
Yeah, we went right down the A9 right here. Yeah. Coming back.
Did not get to eat a sausage roll. I was kind of disappointed by that. There was just not enough time for everything. I even said you only left. We did not have time to have a sausage roll.
Did not go to Hampton Court. That'll have to be for a future trip. That was a place. It's a lot like Windsor Castle. That was Henry VIII's palace.
Next time you're coming to the UK.
Yeah, Scottish Mad Lad. Next time we'll try to find a chance to do a meetup. When I go to do stuff,
hey, whichever one of you has the helicopter, we'll meet you there. And the cheese. No, just kidding.
When I go to make like history videos and stuff, we'll do something.
That would be very cool.
Favorite,
but we're going to go without the kids this time.
Favorite British general in history? I guess it has to be Wellington, right? Cannot wait for the Epic History TV collab. Oh, yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon.
History TV? What?
Epic History TV. They were the first people to ever copyright strike me.
Oh, yeah. Happy Effect Belgium.
Listen, I loved the Netherlands, too. I'm not... It's like picking between your children, right? I loved them both.
Some of them are better to travel with than others. Listen, my son and I can travel together so easily. This one, too picky about what he eats. It's kind of boring. I'd actually really rather take Caleb to meet your fans. Is that okay?
What would be the first East European country to visit? Probably Poland. Very much want to visit Poland. I want to go to Auschwitz. I want to go to Auschwitz Fortress. Sounds like you're planning to join in on the history trip, Tara.
Which one?
If I go to the UK, yeah.
Well, yeah. Because there's plenty of things I could do while he goes and does his other stuff.
So I might get to meet Mr. and Mrs. VTH. We're back home. We got home Wednesday.
I will bring you Greg's sausage roll. Aww, as an offering. That's sweet. You don't need to see that.
The toilet, that was Henry III's toilet, K. Stevens.
Oh, your picture.
Yeah.
My son youngest pointed out your toilets are different than ours. First of all, you call them toilets. We call them restrooms or bathrooms. So that was interesting. And then, you guys have less water in your toilets? Because I guess we must be wasteful Americans. And then it fills up after, where ours has a lot of water, and then I was just...
Yeah, I would like to get to Bletchley Park. Yeah, I know about the Battle of Culloden. Okay, we've been going for an hour, almost an hour and a half now.
We're probably boring you.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this up here soon.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Netherlands has a Bible Belt. Really? I didn't think there were too many Christians in the Netherlands these days.
Gordon Ramsay. Oh, we should have saw him while we were there. Oh.
Got a good laugh off the video on the toilet, not going to lie.
I did eat haggis.
She had haggis.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Haggis, and what was the other one?
The black pudding, or no, the blood sausage.
Blood sausage, yeah. I had that. Well, black pudding, whatever you call it. Yeah, we had both. Haggis was better.
We are 5 hours behind the UK, so it's almost 3 p.m. here. So what, about 8 o'clock at night in the UK now? Another place we'd like to go in the UK, her grandpa was stationed at Kimbolton Air Base, which is not too far from Cambridge. So I'd like to go to that area too and see that. I'd like to go to Nottingham. My paternal line, my dad's side is from Nottingham. Mm-hmm. We had an amazing time. Loved everything about it. Your blood is Glaswegian. Some of mine too. Clan Hamilton, Clan Stewart, and it appears maybe McDonald too.
Oh, I know what it is. I knew ahead of time. Oh, I did have veal. Was it veal or liver when I was there? No, I had lamb. Lamb was great. Yeah. And I tried a veal too.
Urn brew. Yes, I had it. Tastes like bubble gum.
What was it?
The orange pop.
Oh yeah.
Tastes like bubble gum.
When we were talking earlier about the chicken marsala, it was actually veal marsala that I had. It's very good.
You live near Loch Lomond, Jonathan? That's where Luss, the first little village we stopped at Loch Lomond, was beautiful.
Okay, back to the drink you're talking about. It was really sugary, though. Too sugary. Yeah. It was weird.
Righty, no. Temperature didn't confuse me because my phone gave me the temperature in Fahrenheit, so it wasn't an issue.
Yeah. I liked the weather. It was nice. The only problem is you can't really swim. You guys don't have a lot in the way of pools and stuff.
She has a lot of Irish.
I do.
I have a lot of Irish and Scottish. She doesn't have as much Scottish as me.
When did I get Irish?
Your dad's father was 100% Irish.
I knew the Hungarian.
Or was the O'Neills.
Yeah.
No, that's Irish.
Oh, that's Irish. Oh.
Yeah. MLS team, Columbus Crew. We went through Berwick on our way on the train going from York to Edinburgh.
You can take that road.
You take the high road, I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you. Yep. Loch Lomond. I've known that song. Sang that song in choir in middle school.
Oh, yeah. Good thing we're not there now with the heat. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And there was a lot of times I was warm even still. At night, I'm, like, stripping everything down and opening all the windows. And yeah.
You live near the Wallace Monument. Cool.
Awesome.
All right, last chance for any questions for us about our trip to the UK. Going once.
Did we kill each other? No, we did not kill each other.
We get along well.
If it was any longer. I'm kidding.
Just the stress of getting back, which was a story for another day. Yeah. We did not visit Wales, but that'll be in the future. Her maiden name is Welsh, so we both have family from Wales.
I'm going to have a hard time narrowing it down next time we're all ready to go, because there's so much to do over there.
What's the hottest it's ever gotten where we live in Ohio? 104, maybe?
Yeah,
104.
What did I say about that? Mm-hmm.
But my mom lives in Arizona, and so I've experienced 115 in Arizona.
We all have air conditioning. I mean, it's very strange to not.
Were there any rude British people? I didn't meet any. We overheard a couple people complaining about tourists.
I don't blame them. I'd be annoyed if
they were talking to each other.
Americans everywhere too, because they're not nice. Yeah.
Every interaction we had with a person in the UK was positive.
Yeah, absolutely, which is amazing. When are we coming back? Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Well, probably not till next summer because of my school schedule.
How soon are you planning to go again? As soon as possible, because I have a lot of content I want to make for the channel.
He will probably be back before I will, because I have to work.
Yeah. You should go to... That's the name of a town in Wales.
It really is a name of a town. I thought he just like kind of
it's legit. That's a real place in Wales.
Is it nice? Or is it just because he likes to say the funny name?
Did I feel like Chris of Bebenberg at any point? No, but you know what? Ryan, thank you. You have ancestors from Poland. Very cool. So somebody asked about souvenirs.
Oh, yeah.
Our son came back. Our son Caleb, who's 14, he is not somebody who asks for much at all.
And he shouldn't even ask either.
Our other two kids are all like, "Oh, I want that, I want that." They spent like 150 pounds just at the Harry Potter store.
Well, they spend more than that because they suckered you later.
But Caleb doesn't ask for much, and so when we went, there was this really, really cool store right outside of Edinburgh Castle that's like 4 floors. And like one floor, they had a Harry Potter section. Yeah. They had a section that was all real swords and suits of armor that you could buy. Amazing. It was really cool, and they had a dagger with the insignia of Richard the Lionheart on it. Really heavy. It was like 95 pounds.
Right by the castle, wasn't it?
It was right by Edinburgh Castle.
Yeah.
And he liked it, and so we bought him that and flew home with it in our checked bag. We even told him, we're like, we have a dagger in here. Is that a problem?
And he was so sweet. He's like, it's a little expensive. Maybe I'll get one of the smaller ones. And we're like, honey, it's okay. It's really cool. He's like, well, what am I going to do with it? I'm like, I don't know. You liked it, so okay.
You should build a tiny castle on your new land, your lordship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have 5 square foot of just trees. But yeah, I'd like to at least have seen it from a drone angle or something.
Harrison from Hull here. Gutted I missed you guys when you stopped by York. We'll be back. And yeah, we'll definitely try to do some meetups next time.
Yeah. And then you could tell us what dishes to try.
This was a family trip, and it was our first time.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty full schedule, so didn't really plan any of that, but it'll happen.
Listen, we'll have to meet them at a restaurant, and then they could all suggest little things for us to try. Not that you will, but I will. I love that kind of stuff. No, don't leave. Aww.
We did go through Newcastle upon Tyne. We went through Newcastle on the train going from York to Edinburgh. Luke, thank you. We went through Durham. I got a beautiful picture of Durham Cathedral. when we went through on the train. But no, we didn't stop there. So many great places that we didn't have a chance to go.
Yeah.
95 pounds, and he's going to just open letters with it.
It didn't weigh that much. It was only like this big, right? I mean, like, it didn't weigh that much.
No, he means the cost was 95 pounds.
Oh, you said, I didn't know you said how much it was. I thought he meant the weight, yeah.
Buy a set of armor of VTH carved in your breastplate. Nice. The suit of armor was Henry VIII's suit of armor at the Tower of London with the cod piece that was like very impressed with his own manhood. Was interesting. Yes. Mr. Willenschauer, 100% right. It sucks that Henry VIII demolished the monasteries. I was thinking that very thing when I saw the Holyrood monastery in Edinburgh. Rochester Castle, yeah. That was the one that King John laid siege to, I think. The movie Ironclad takes place there. There are a lot. It does seem to be a lot of people from the northeast of England, and Yorkshire accent's probably my favorite. Chris, can I smack you in the lips with my lips? That's her job. Sorry.
I did it for you. Aw, they think you're cute. It was cute that they put it under review whoever your mod was. That's sweet. Oh.
Wakefield, yeah. Wakefield is where that's where the Duke of York was killed during the Wars of the Roses. We did go to York Minster. Yep. Did I get a sense of the North versus South divide? No, but we were in London and then we were in York, so we didn't experience enough of both, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right, Jonathan.
I have watched a lot of Peaky Blinders, yeah.
I've watched some of it too.
You've seen a little bit of it,
Very good. Yeah. All
right, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who donated. Thank you for all your great questions. I think I'm going to go take a nap now.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah. I haven't seen season 6 of Peaky Blinders yet, no. So thanks, guys, and we will see you again real soon.
Bye. So is it a girl?